Hello everyone, this is the third lesson of biology. The third lesson is about excretion, removal of the waste products of metabolism. Homeostasis. Firstly, we studied the word homeostasis before. So, what do you mean by homeostasis? It's keeping a constant environment around the cell of the body. What's that mean? In other words, as we know, cells to stay alive, to survive, to function efficiently, it needs source of food. And when these cells will use this food, then it will produce or it will make waste. Okay, this waste product, it needs to be released or excrete out of the cell. So here what do we have? This involving providing cells with essential raw materials, but also means removing waste products. This is the definition of homeostasis, or this is the explanation of homeostasis. Firstly, this waste products can be very toxic, can be very poisonous. This waste product, we have types of it. We have example types of these waste products. Firstly, we should get familiar with this waste product. For example, the first kind of waste product, it's carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, what do you think? From where our body it makes carbon dioxide, or how it makes carbon dioxide? All of us, we know, when we respire, when we breathe, our cells will take oxygen, will use it, then will make or will produce carbon dioxide. So here, carbon dioxide is the first example of waste product. Carbon dioxide produced during respiration dissolves in plasma and tissue fluid. It will form a weak acid. This weak acid, we call it carbonic acid, which can denature enzymes and other proteins at high concentration. More details about carbon dioxide, or why carbon dioxide is a toxic material. This carbon dioxide in respiration will be released to the blood plasma. And as we know, in our blood, there are some enzymes. So, if the concentration of this carbon dioxide will increase, will be high, this high concentration of carbon dioxide, it will affect the enzymes. What will happen to the enzymes? It will denature enzymes. What do you mean by it denature? It break down the enzymes. Then, number two, the second type of waste product, the second type of toxic material, which is urea. What do you think? Where we can find urea, or how our body made urea? Urea produced in liver. During what? During deamination of excess amino acids. Urea also, when the concentration of it will be high, so what will happen? It will again denature enzymes. So now, number one, number two, both of these toxic materials, when the concentration of it will be high, both of them will affect on the enzymes. Both of them will denature enzymes. Then, the third example of waste product, salt. Salt, from where we can get salt, or how do we get salt, which can be in excess in diet. When you eat food, diet, okay, the food that it has more salt, okay, more than what our cells need. So this, it will affect on the water potential of the blood. That's why, for example, they say here it will affect on blood pressure, and maybe of course you heard about someone with blood pressure. They said he should not eat salt. Why? Because extra salt in your blood, okay, this will affect on the water potential. It will affect on the concentration of water in your blood, and also this it will affect on the blood pressure. Now, excretion. Excretion, what do you mean by the process of excretion? Excretion is the removal of toxic materials, the waste products of metabolism and substances in excess of requirements. So excretion is removing the excess nutrients and the excess product of metabolism. Here, this diagram, it shows the organs in our body that are responsible for the removal of waste products in our body. As you can see, the main organ here is the kidney. This organ, it's the kidney. Then we will talk more about the kidney and the parts of kidney. Now, the role of the kidney. What is the function of kidney in the process of removing the waste from our bodies? Okay, a kidney has two main roles in the excretion. Firstly, it removes the toxic waste product urea. Number one, it removes urea from circulating blood. Your kidney or our cells, when it will use the materials, it will make urea. This urea is in the blood, okay? But urea is a toxic material. It's a toxic waste product. So our kidney, the function of it or the role of it here, it's what? It will take out the urea from our blood circulation, okay? They carry out excretion. Number two, another function or another role for kidney in the excretion, it's what? It's to regulate. It control. It regulate. Focus on the words that I am highlighting them. Regulate the water content of the blood. They carry out osmoregulation. In the previous lesson, we talked about osmoregulation. We said, what do you mean by osmoregulation? It's regulating the water content of the blood. How much water there should be in the blood. Now, the structure of the kidney is well adapted to enable them to carry out these processes. Okay, how kidney is adapted to do these processes? How kidney is adapted to remove urea and to regulate the water content? Firstly, each kidney, here is the kidney. This is the kidney. Each kidney, it will receive the blood, okay, through renal artery. The first part, renal artery, as you can see here, it's the red one. The blood, it's going inside the kidney through the renal artery. So the renal artery, it sends blood under high pressure, okay. Each kidney receives a good supply of blood at high pressure. So maybe here you will have a question. It says the kidney will supply blood at what? High pressure or low pressure? So you should choose high pressure through the renal artery. Okay, so here is the renal artery. It supply or it provide the kidney with blood. Then each kidney contains hundreds of thousands of tubes. These tubes They call them nephrons. So what is a nephron? Nephron is the main, or is the smallest unit of kidney. Kidney, it consists of hundreds of thousands of nephrons. These nephrons, it's like tiny tubes. Okay, so here is the kidney, and here inside it, okay, there are the nephrons. Then we will talk about them in details. Then each kidney has an exit tube. Focus on this exit tube. So here we have entry, okay. The renal artery, it's the tube that it supply kidney with blood. It goes to nephron, then will be filtered, will be processed, and then will be sent out of the kidney through what? Through the ureter, okay, to carry away the urine. A solution of waste is dissolved in water. Here it's the kidney, renal artery, send blood to it, then here it's the exit. It carries urine from the kidney. It comes through this, the red tube. It goes inside the kidney. It goes to the nephron. Nephron will filter the blood, then will send it out through, will send the urine through the ureter. The kidney is under close control by feedback system, so that water saving is always exactly balanced to the body's need. Here it's like, what do you mean by feedback system? In the questions we will answer, what do you mean by feedback system? Now, the structure of the kidney. If we will study the structure of the kidney and where are the kidneys, where are they located? The kidneys are, and their blood vessels are located in the abdomen, as shown in the diagram. The kidneys constantly produce urine, which then passes to the bladder. Okay, here are the kidneys located in this area, which is the abdomen. It has the tubes. This kidney will send the urine through the ureter, then from ureter will be sent into bladder. Bladder, it store the urine, and then this urine will goes outside the body through a structure, we call it urethra. The functional unit, the kidney tubule or nephron. As we explained before, we said each kidney, it consists of hundreds of thousands of long tubes called nephrons, okay, each with its own branch of the renal artery. Okay, each nephron has a branch of renal artery. We said renal artery, it's the tube that it supply the kidney with the blood. Each nephron works in exactly the same way, so the function of the kidney can be explained by considering the work of just one nephron. What's that mean? In this diagram here, it shows the nephron. The function of kidney, we can summarize it in function of this one nephron. Firstly, kidney, it consists of two main parts. The outer part, we call it cortex, and the innermost part, we call it medulla. And here, this part, it's the nephron. Okay, if we will take a nephron, we will zoom it in, it will show us in this way. Now, how the process it will happen. Here, we say the kidneys will get blood through what? Through renal artery. This is renal artery. Here, this is the renal artery which supply or provide the kidney with blood. Now, blood is moving through the renal artery. It goes inside nephron. Okay, nephron now. The first part of nephron, it's what? It's this. Here it's what? A group of capillary or a ball of capillaries together. We call them glomerulus. Glomerulus. Okay, so now the question is, what do you mean by glomerulus? Glomerulus, a ball of capillaries. Okay, a group of capillaries, a net of blood capillaries together. These capillaries or this glomerulus, it's surrounded by a capsule or a cover. Okay, if you look at this part, this structure, this capsule, we call it Bowman's capsule. So Bowman capsule, the function of it contains the glomerulus. Then now what will happen to the blood? Here you should remember the function of blood capillaries. The function of blood capillaries, we said it's for exchange. It enables substances to exchange. How it has the ability to exchange the substances? Because we said the walls of it are thin. It consists of one layer of cells, so substances can pass easily through it. Now, what are these substances? If you look at these three arrows, the red, blue, black, each one it represents what? The blue one, it represents water, the black one, it represents waste, and the red one, it represents the useful molecules. The blood, of course, it consists of what? It consists of some useful molecules, it consists of water, and also it contains waste. So here what is happening, as you can see, because the blood here, it's under a high pressure, so these substances will be filtered. It will goes out of the blood capillary or out of the glomerulus. But then, if you will look at these two arrows, here we have the water and useful molecules. The direction it shows, they are going again inside the blood capillary. So here what will happen? Water, waste, useful molecules will be sent out of the blood capillary. Then the blood capillary will reabsorb again the water and useful molecules. Now, so at the end, what we will have here, we will have only useful molecules and water. Okay, so now this tube, it contains only water and useful molecules. Then it goes through loop of Henle. Loop of Henle, this structure, this part of nephron, we call it loop of Henle. The function of loop of Henle, it's what? It's reabsorb the water. Okay, the function of it, it's reabsorption of water. Okay, then at the end, the urine will be released here. The waste or the urine will be released here through the ureter, and here branch of renal vein, blood containing useful molecules and water here will be sent back again to the blood circulation. So at the end here, a blood with wastes, it goes inside the nephron. Here at the end now they separate. The wastes will go through ureter. Okay, here it's the wastes, and here the water and useful molecules will go through the renal vein again to the blood circulation. Now, the important things that you should note about this topic is, firstly, you should understand that all the cells in our bodies, all living cells, it needs food, it needs supplied, provided with food, it should be provided with food. Then when these cells will use this food or material, it will what? It will produce wastes. So all living cells, it produce wastes. Then number two, you should know what are these wastes. Example, well, you should know the names of these wastes. Number one, carbon dioxide. Number two, urea. Number three, salts. Okay, then one more thing, which is you should know which organ in our body it's responsible for blood filtration, which organ it's responsible for removing this waste product. Okay, then the last thing, you should know the structure of kidney. We said the structure of kidney it consists of two main parts, cortex, medulla. Then inside the kidney it consists of hundreds of thousands of small tubules. We call them nephron. So nephron is the simple unit, is the simplest unit of the kidney, or we can say it's the building block of the kidney. Then kidney, it gets the blood through a renal artery. Then renal artery goes to the nephrons. Nephrons will filter the blood, then will send the urea out. The urea will be sent out through ureter. Then ureter will send the urine into the bladder, will be stored in the bladder for a while, and then will be released out of the body through the urethra. Your homework, it's questions on page 125. Question number one, I will solve some of the questions and the rest you should do it by yourself. Question number one, define the terms of excretion and osmoregulation. What's excretion? Excretion is the removal of toxic materials, the waste products of metabolism and substances in excess of requirements. You should know what is the definition of osmoregulation. Osmoregulation we explained in the previous lesson. Question number 2 and number 3, it's your homework. Have a good day. If you have any questions, again, please just contact me. Stay safe, stay home.